I call it my Gothic tech witch cave.
Okay, nothing's eating me, and I believe I'm teleporting.
There you are.
Cool. Alright, so, I like the... Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. So, I have started recording, and my name is Corsair Hugo on YouTube, Twitter, what have you. In Arkade, I go by Hugo Zilla, or Hugo for short. I'm here with Winnie, and she is going to give me a tour of her base. So your tribe name again is
Neurodeviants, because all of us
Neurodeviants.
are a mix of neurospicy. But this is my personal base, so this is pretty much all my handiwork.
Wow. I'm just taking this all in. Uh,
I call
Go ahead.
I call it my Gothic tech witch cave, and it's sort of inspired by Hades. We are on the Astraeos map, and we are sort of under Mount Olympus. So I drew a little bit of that Hades inspiration. If you look around, I basically kind of view this. These are ASR mod cyber tech pillars, and I kind of view it as like almost like the blood of the earth flowing through things here. And I've been channeling it, kind of purifying it in certain places.
So
Um,
what am I
for my
walking on now? What
All right,
go
so
ahead.
this is the crystal structure mod, and it is one of the what's the specific? So the crystal structure mod is a overwhelming and extremely wonderful mod. As far as premium mod skins, it is hands down one of the best. And there's just so many different designs in here. It used to have another skin here, but the mod creator that did this black matte here, this modern dark marble matte structure here,
Hmm.
they used to have a redwood skin and they stopped carrying it, and so I had to replace that. And this is a ceramic is what it's actually called under the crystal mod, and then
Okay.
I dyed it black and red to sort of fit with the whole motif.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. So, okay. I don't even know where to begin. I'm just going to follow you on. And do you
Let's
think I should go ahead and put my tech suit on now? You mentioned about that. Or
let's we can yeah, let's start with the tech suit. Let's go basically north to south. That might be the easiest. So let's start outside at my north cavern entrance. I'll take
okay.
a I'll take a little ride out to where my Gavagers are, because initially, let's hop on this teleporter pad right here. Initially, the setting to work in caves was not on, so I had to put them outside. And I did not take you, did I? I just messed
Uh,
that up.
no, I popped somewhere.
All right, where are you? I just realized my force shield's on out here. What did I just do to you?
Let's see. I am next. I'm like on a ledge here below
Oh,
me.
okay. Well, hopefully you're not dead or anything. So
No, no, I'm still alive. Somehow just managed to land on a ledge. Below me is a red pattern floor
Oh, I see
with.
you. Yep. You got. Okay, good. You just got deflected to my gate. You're at my gate. All right, let's land on the floor here. My bad. Here I go trying to teleport you into a force shield that we're not allied. So so this is my north gate. Um, And up here, I used ASR Tech floating foundations because I needed to get my gotchas out of the cave effect so that they would work. This is a dead Argy because I have issues with the local wildlife. And so if you come out here, it's a pretty good view. They're a little cyberpunk. It's a little flashy out here because why not? And I have a big problem. I normally keep this front door locked because I had a lot of issues with people just dragging in argents and stuff, and then I had babies scattering, and it was pretty much a disaster. I like to keep my bases open for people to come in and look around and enjoy, but there's obviously limits when it's disrupting what I'm trying to do.
So, as I've said, I'm new to this map, but is it just me or is it very vibrant colors here?
Oh my goodness, this is great. This is like we're in the northern area. It's very autumnal if we come out here. On the edge, you'll get this whole autumn forest over here.
I see, yeah.
Um, and what time of day is it right now? Oh, we are heading into night. So hopefully when we get to the south entrance, which we'll get to last, we'll be able to look over to the boglands at night. And that is one of the most beautiful designed areas. It takes a swamp to a whole new level. So let's get in back inside before something eats us though.
Okay. What kind of
Yeah.
wildlife do you get out here?
This is pretty much your far north sort of stuff. So, Uties, Rexes, Argents, Mammoths, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And I kinda, spruce this up. I mean, I know it's just an entrance, but it's like your front yard, right? I like to make it look nice. And so we enter just sort of this grand area. Originally, my tribe mate was gonna make a workshop up here of their own, but that fell through. So mostly this is just sort of a functional area. These are my cloners. I keep them up here out of the way.
So you have some tames up here at the entrance. Okay, so I guess that's okay. Obviously, the parasaur for letting you know when visitors are here, and the phenomia for feeding your plant wise out there.
Yeah, so I've got that. So I do a double system. I use the SES terminals for fertilizer generation.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm here all the time and things are rendered, I find the dung beetle and Pheomia is also produced. And just above us, if we were to fly up, this light structure is actually where my aggregator for the gachas are. And that skinned rhino is my farmer. And then I've got a skin generator. So everything's up here, just kind of easy access, but sort of out of sight, out of mind.
Okay.
Because I couldn't quite get the gachas close enough to my actual workshop. So I've chained things as close as I could. And we'll kind of head over there next to where my gacha collectors are.
Okay.
If we just kind of hop down
So
this way.
a quick question: did you notice that the farmers, yeah, the farmers aren't working at the moment?
There's an issue with the
Oh, gardeners.
actually, yep. So the CS is aware of it. It's going to be fixed in their next patch. It's an issue with the gardeners and the aggregators not pulling from the crop plots. It's just a matter of getting the update at this point, I think. So yes, there is a slight issue with that.
And before we go any
Um,
further, I'm thinking about I might want to gamma up. It's a little. I don't want to miss
it
anything. It's a little bit darkish in here, and if people are watching this on a small screen, it might be hard to see. So excuse me one second here.
Oh, absolutely, gamma up. It is dark in here. I carry a feather light on me at all times.
Um,
Um,
oh yes, that makes it much better. I
yep.
didn't even notice this water fountain here before. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
this
that's
is
much better.
and this area is not 100% complete over here. I've got a little water feature over here that is not 100% done. This is basically for when my other tribe mates are here. This is kind of like the guest rooms if they want to log out here. Up above us, these are all secure. They're only accessible by teleporter, so
Okay.
they've got sleeping pods in it. But below them, when we walk off the edge here, this is going to be my functional gotcha crackers and storage right down here. Whee!
So is that? Are you hearing that tune right now? Is that like the nighttime tune for Astraeos?
Yep, that is
Okay.
the nighttime tune. It's a little Greek-inspired music.
Oh, look at you
So,
have your tech storage on the floor
yes,
or
and
dedicated.
I've got a separate one in my workshop, but once again, because I couldn't get the gotchas close enough, I sort of have extra storage here.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get low at the workshop, what I'll do is I'll place down a transmitter here, and I'll just take off my armor, stick it in like the Mega Lab for a minute, and I'll just slash upload and upload all of these resources, and then I will download them by the crane near my workshop, and it doesn't take all that long, and I'll just transfer everything over, and I'll start refilling again. And all of this is just, once again, I mentioned my teleporter network. This takes me up to the Gavagers, so I can quickly use the things up there to feed them.
So
And I've
recap again. So to get all this um, material to another area, you put in your this is the med lab. You put what in there?
So I would take all the gear I'm wearing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't want to upload that because it's a pain in the butt, and I would basically just toss all my gear in there temporarily, or I'd do it in the workshop wherever, and it would just be me and a transmitter. I would place my transmitter down right here,
Okay.
or right near what I'm doing,
Oh, okay. I see what you're
and
saying.
then I would use the manual upload command. And if you're fast, right, you can actually upload an entire dedicated storage in just one slash upload into the buffer. And you can just do that real quick to all of this stuff. And then if you're fast on the other end, you can use slash download and get it all into a Dropbox really quick and basically get it all distributed over there. So I can unload this area, all these materials, transport it to the other side, and I'm pretty good. I can probably do all this material and move it all the way over in 15 minutes, maybe.
Hmm.
So it's pretty efficient.
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I'm, I had to come up with a creative workaround when my gotchas weren't working inside. So
Uh-huh.
this was it.
Cool.
And yeah, and I was happy to see that I could paint the crackers so they kind of match the decor. Naturally, they are not red like this.
Oh
Gives it
yeah.
a real nice little Sith vibe going on. And you could just hear my Oasasaur, who is actually just on a display down at my cryo lab. But occasionally you can just hear it cry all through the base. Alrighty, so
So how difficult was it to tame an Asosaur? I haven't tamed one yet.
oh, it was a pain in the butt. I did it
That's what I
solo.
thought.
I tried an approach using turrets, and I had to basically chase it around until it got into a canyon area, and I could get enough turrets down fast enough, and I used that to shoot down the vultures, and yeah, it was not great. Next time I would recommend doing it with a friend. All right, so this is my breeding floor. Right now, there's not a whole lot out here. I have actually, without too much meshing, because I try not to mesh, and there's good server rules against it. I have actually had 50 dreadnoughts out in here at one point. Um, they were definitely their shoulders were merging and their tails were together, but it's a substantial space. Um, as you can see, I've got my current breeders over here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, some troughs spaced out. It's pretty good space.
So
I like
you're not using a propagator for breeding them, or
actually that is where we're headed to next.
okay.
I'm just kind of walking through. So this is where I raise them. I do have a bio grinder if I wanted to dispose of old babies and stuff right over here, but I feel really bad when I use the bio grinder. I don't know. I have a death chamber I use for my megalodons and tusos. That doesn't bug me, but the bio grinder, I don't know. That one bugs me. I don't use it so much. All right, let's go back over here and take the walkway. Right here as we're passing through, this is my teleporter hub. These are all color coded and named. They take me to my outposts. They take me to my bedrooms, my kitchen, my larder, which I'll show in a bit. And all of them all the different locations come back here to this one spot I'm on. This is my hub. Everything will return me to here from different locations, and then I just can reset. So it's always the same location, bounce to another one, and so I can always immediately orient where I am and then move again.
This is crazy. It's insane.
I really like brutal efficiency. I like to move quickly. This is my propagator room, and the basic theme is that the mutation is kind of powered by, well, the fires of hell.
Okay.
And so I pay for 4 propagators. I do use the Arkade VIP. I have 3 up here and 1 down in my aquatics lab. I have my various. I use a lot of cryo storage just to sort things out. I don't like using folders and things. I like to be able to go up to one of my cryo storages and just use take all, and then to be able to put those right into whatever I am breeding.
So I'm used to seeing my cryo storage unit looking like this round one, not the square ones.
This is your basic. This is a clingers one, and some of the clingers ones you can put images on, but it doesn't do all tames. So like this one's a rock drake, but if we come over here, the Uteranus, for example, has an image. It is a free skin, custom cosmetic that you can get.
Okay.
And I wish there were more. So the Uteranus has one. The Rex has one, which is really convenient. I wish more of them had one.
Might be a mod we have to work on.
So I like, once again, it goes back to my love of efficiency. I like to know exactly what I'm looking at. So I paint things different. I put my signs down. You know, I color code a lot of things. My teleporters here are all, you know, I know exactly what this means. Like, I mean, if you look at this one here, you might be able to guess this takes me to my water breeding area.
Okay.
But yeah, it's...
No, I agree. I agree with you. Even when I start off on fresh with a new character, I'm sorting I make separate boxes for armor, weapons, blah, 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 and then it just progresses as you know, the more advanced you get. But I am nowhere near this. This is crazy. I got a lot to do before I get to this level.
Well, I just like to say I am on the autism spectrum, so you know it reflects in some of my organizational habits. I think.
And I'm sorry if I came over in a negative way. I meant I
no,
would have eventually,
no.
I eventually want to get to this level, but
no, it's just, you know, we all have our particular mental architecture, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this place, and normally I do keep this on lockdown. This is, most aspects of my base are open to the public. This place, of course, I often just drop unwanted eggs, and so I will like, as we leave here, I'm gonna lock it back down, and you know, just not keep that one open to the public.
Sure.
I think for the next part of our journey, I am going to explain. Let's go up. So, we wanted to do a little bit of a tech flight rehearsal, right?
Go ahead and give me a little tutorial here on using a tech suit. It's been a while for me.
All right, so some of the most important things, of course, is, you know, spacebar to fly. Now, when you just want to hover, you can hold your left shift button, and you know, you move back and forth. But if you let go of that, you'll drop. If you use your right shift button, though, you no longer have to hold it down. You'll stay hovered. So one of the most important things in a survival situation is double tap spacebar, hit right shift. If obviously if lag cooperates with me, double tap, right shift, and if you have awesome TP, you can get out of a dangerous situation when something's trying to eat your face. I have that down as like reflex now when I end up in a bad situation. And you can speed fly by going up and then, you know, shift flying and hitting control. But sometimes you kind of get stuck and overshot, and you have all this momentum built, and then you end up overshooting, and it becomes a whole it becomes a whole thing. But you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
but just be warned.
last time I was using tech suit would have been Genesis and ASE.
Whew. All right, so we're gonna go up. Do you see that fiery orange door up there?
Yes.
All right, we are going to what I call my larder. Let me make sure the door's unlocked. That would probably be helpful. There we go.
Oh, I just overshot.
See, this is good practice for you. I do have elevators here too. I could have just brought us up, but this just seemed more fun to make you try to get through this door.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, no.
At least more fun for me.
Okay,
It may
hold
be
on.
more fun for anybody viewing this, you know.
Okay, okay, I
You
want to
can
hold.
tap out. If you tap out, I'll teleport you in.
Hold on 1 second. I can do this maybe. So if I use. Getting there slowly. Oh! I'm in the door!
All right, so my kitchen and my workshop are separate spaces. And to make sure I can pull resources to both of them, in between is the larder. And this holds resources that I need in both locations. So if you look on the side here, I've got overflow berries and various resources here. It's a little crowded. This was literally because I started running out of space. I have fertilizer pallets up top. It's the uglier side of my base because, you know, this isn't really open to the public. I mean, it looks all right in here. Um, as you can see, look at this. This is all maxed out
Oh my
vegetable
goodness.
storage and stuff. It's just overflowing. I
Yeah.
have millions upon millions of assets. I mean, I've got, what is it, over 1,000 golden Hesperornis eggs over here. It's just kind of absurd. But it is strategically placed so I can get these resources to these two separate locations. And it's all hanging up here because I decided I wanted to hang stuff off the ceiling. I wanted this organic, as we kind of float up here. Whoops. Kind of step on out and float here. Good time to use that auto hover on the other side. You'll see these things are sort of shaped like closed flower pods up here. And it is all part of this organic look I wanted. Like this stuff was feeding off sort of this unhealthy blood of the earth sort of thing as it goes up to the ceiling here and it all curves down. And over here is the kitchen.
Yep.
Whoops. I'm only enjoying this a lot. I'm only enjoying this a lot. But you know what? I messed it. I don't always stick my landing. But it does take practice. It's easy to overshoot things, and you know.
I'm coming, I'm coming. There we go.
There we go.
Hopefully that gets laughs from the people watching this.
Or you know, hopefully it's, you know, or you could do some outtakes at the end, a little blooper reel.
Yeah, I made it right in that door. That was perfect. Did you see that?
Absolutely, stuck it, no problems at all. And so yeah, you know, it's a kitchen, obviously. I did kind of make this a little bit fun in here. I was been using the neon mod. At the end of the tour, we'll end up at my community center, which is sort of open to the public. It's got a crafting area and sort of a take an item, give an item, that sort of thing going on. And that is like a cyberpunk obnoxious nightmare. And, you know, I channeled some of it in here, but in part because I do keep it dark and I do actually keep my gamma at 2.
Oh,
You
really?
know, I'm a middle-aged goth, so, you know, me living
Okay,
in the dark, it's
hold on a
normal.
minute. I got to try this. Gamma 2. How do you possibly see in here?
I also am mostly nocturnal, so if you think about
Oh
it,
my goodness.
I sit in here in almost the dark at night. Yeah, but I do have my feather light on most of the time, so I do have a flashlight, sort of, so it
Yeah.
helps.
I gotta go back. Can we just talk about like okay? So what do we have here? These are industrial cookers with some kind of skin.
Yeah, this is the neon skin. And the neon skin is loud, and yeah, my community center will show you really just how loud this can be, and actually my aquatic breeding area will show you just how loud this can be. And
Okay.
apparently whatever was skinning my cook pot is no longer there. I probably accidentally removed it when I was making new recipes the other day. That
Hmm.
happens sometimes. I
Do you have a
sometimes remove.
really good recipe you want to give me advice on?
Honestly, now that I'm level 195, I used a less great recipe because, I used my crafting potion and just my levels alone let me make. Oh, here, let me give you some food. Would you like some food? It's really fun food, anyways. Let's see.
I'm
It's
not gonna be tripping or something.
No, no, I'm not going to give you any. I'm not going to give you any fatal food or anything like that. It is themed after my whole Winnie, the Warlord of the Waste, from my all the fun I have on Extinction 2, where I actually built my base in the wastelands on Extinction 2, because I am crazy like that and I like challenges. So.
No worries from the meteor showers?
I am basically just below the KT arena next to the snow biome. So it's this tiny, tiny little area that is actually safe from meteors. But I do have to worry about the occasional corrupted wyvern coming
Mm-hmm.
through. And for the longest time, until I managed to figure out, it used to rain gigas on my head and karchas, and that was probably a bigger issue than the corrupted wyverns. Was having gigas and karchas raining down into my base until I managed to block them.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But yeah, as you can see, they've got lovely names. It's the Wasteland Burger, and it says
Oh
the
yeah.
perfect food from friends.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you should also have, the corn nog, which is tasty and healthy, and if you let it ferment, it can power your battle rig. Get some corn nog, because I'm because I'm a dork. That is why I'm a dork. All right. So yeah, these two things right over here. If we land right down here, this is my troughs. It's just very centrally located. It covers most areas. It also, as you can tell, it rains inside my cave, which is seems like an oversight on my map. Um, my gotchas are afraid in here, but it rains. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, these pods just above us, the pod right here that says Tilly, that's my kiddo's pod. He loves his pet snake, so his pet snake has been with us since the original Island 2 was closed and people couldn't even leave it. That snake, that level 290 snake up there, has been around. And the other pod is mine. And next, I think we'll go to the workshop, which is right over here. Whee! Oh, wait, before you hit the workshop, this is my garden over here. Um, these are basically berries. I decided to make hanging berries. It uses the Arkade or the A plus the Arkade speed hack seeds, so it way overproduces everything. That's why I've got millions of berries and I have millions of vegetables and just more food than I could ever need. And going with that sort of premise of using the blood of the earth here, I sort of purified it, right? If you see the red going up, and then if you look at the berry leaves themselves, it becomes green. Sort of like, I don't want to eat my own toxins, I suppose.
Okay.
But
As I look at this, someone that's not familiar with the skins and stuff is going to, if they're watching this and don't have the sound on, they're not even going to recognize this as being Ark. It's, you know what I mean? Like,
I just
go ahead.
I like to play with things. Like there's so many great builders on this server, and when people kind of like want to hire me, one of the things I say is if you want somebody to build a historical building, ask someone else. I am not the person to do that. If you want somebody to come up with something kind of whimsical or creative or visually interesting, that's what I like to do. I don't know. I just play with stuff until it becomes what it's going to become. And every build I do is unique. They have their own identity, and I love it. It's just fun. It's
So
art.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The last thing I said is just I consider this is art to me. This is an artistic outlet.
Hmm. And like you were saying about your inspirations for this, does it just come to you as you visit a spot, or did you have this kind of thought process before you started this? That this is what you were going to aim for, or was it
So
Astraeos
most
and
of
go ahead.
it developed organically. So my process, and I also do painting acrylic on canvas. I used to have an art studio, though I haven't had one in years. The more I plan something, the worse it tends to be. Um,
I hear you.
so what I've started doing is I just come in and I may have a vague idea. So in here I had a vague idea of like the underworld and sort of this Gothic tech witch cave, and I had sort of a color palette. And that's it. And I did initial buildings and I tore stuff down and I played with it until I found shapes and forms that I kind of liked. And then I just built out from that. So the first thing I built here was basically this center column. And in the water, when we go down, you'll see the supporting structure that actually holds up all this stuff on the roof. Like this floor and stuff came after. This is not what's holding up that central point up there. What's actually holding that up is vacuum chambers in the water below, which is acting as the foundations for a great deal of all of this.
That is
And yeah, it was
crazy.
through playing with it all. All right, let's walk down around the side and we'll come up and through the workshop. So these trees here, and I think it might work on more than just Arkade. I discovered when you're using the plant pots that when you try to place them from your inventory when they're really giant trees, it'll say obstructed, obstructed, obstructed. It's very, very hard to place them. But if you sit on a mount, it shrinks the pot back down to a little tiny pot, and then you can place it really easily, even if it's a giant tree like these are.
Oh, so
And
that's actually a question I was going to ask you. Were these here? But I guess you just answered that. This is.
these are all from the boglands here on Astraeos, and you can dig them up using the shovel and a clay pot, and you can place them. And this place is so much darker without them. This is my lighting, and this is, by the way, is my boss pad. This is sort of my very zen boss pad. I figure, if the tames are about to go die, they might as well be very relaxed before they do so. Um,
Oh, this is
it is,
trippy.
yeah, it is. Once again, this is the crystal structure skin, and this is a water effect on it. Um, and it's all very lovely. And once again, I do like efficiency. So this is also where I have my mutator, which I use for sex changes on the old dinos. And it's where I have my SES terminal I use to spay and neuter um you
Okay.
know um
For
tames
selling
and
them.
math. I
So
just keep it.
this is far
Sorry.
enough away from the rest of your tames that you don't have to worry about as you use this. Um,
Correct. And I can, as you can see, I've got a large range. And so far, I have not accidentally caught Suki in it. I've remembered every single time to take her off my shoulder and bubble her.
okay.
So
Yeah.
far.
I don't. I
Probably.
don't have one. So I hear people talking about Suki, but I don't have one.
Oh, they're so great. I mean, she's overpowered. Bob does wonderful work. Actually, have you seen her up close at least to see the artwork that Bob's done on her? I should I
No.
should let me take the freaky hockey mask off her first though, because we don't need her looking all Friday the 13th probably.
So
Whoops.
I
There we
hear
go.
people talking. Yes.
She has.
And for those of us, or for those that might be watching us that aren't familiar with Arcade, one of the admins, Bob, does a lot of mod work, and some of the things he comes up with is these unique tames or dinos, and I do have Luna, which is a like miniature owl, a snow owl,
Hmm.
which is pretty cool. Um, but
And I did change Suki's color, so instead of the sort of the magenta here, it's actually a plum, but um Suki's more of a fire color normally. But if you look, she's got these little runes and little butterflies on her back feathers. And she is a powerful, powerful healer. Um
so
I
much
will
better than the Daedon or Snow Owl, or
Oh, so much better. The only thing you have to be careful for though is that if you need the healing and the tame you on, the food consumption rate just skyrockets. But for example, I was able to on Aberration ride a basilisk on the surface, and not a super basilisk, not a mutated basilisk. I could take on all those reapers on the surface with Suki on a basilisk and never had to stop to heal. Her passive ability to heal, let alone her active ability, was enough to keep that basilisk super healing. And
wow.
when we go back up top, we'll go over to my dinos again, and I'll show you the heal effect because it's really lovely.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I hear people talking about when we do our community boss fights about bringing Suki and. Um,
and getting her killed, which I have a long history of getting Suki killed. So
I,
this is sort of my.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say we're coming up to my little boss pad and stuff,
This
but
is
yeah,
cool. This is
yeah,
cool.
everybody's little trophy room. I was stationed in Alaska during the Air Force, so I'm just channeling a little bit of that. Heads mounted on walls. As we do in art. And this all leads up to my workshop. Once again, another built-in floor up here. This has all my trophies. And it's
Oh
within
my.
range of my Dropbox up above, so it's all just gets automatically sorted down here.
Oh
Um,
jeez. It.
because
Go
I
ahead.
like things organized. I like things very organized.
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit. I get a bit. I yeah, I enjoy things being organized too, and I
So
may,
this is the workshop.
and that might be one
Oh,
of the
sorry.
reasons why I don't. Well, I don't have for tribe mates at the moment. Not that I drive them crazy with sort and stuff, but I sort of like having my base to myself, so it's I know where things are at, and I get I
Absolutely.
yeah I'm a little I don't know what you want to call it, what the term is, but funny about that.
I have tribe mates, but I'm basically a solo player. So Stitch has the base on Spart. I've got my kiddo, but he doesn't play very much. So this is my workshop. Everything, once again, it's efficient, but I like the aesthetic. Um, Once again, my built-in dedicated floors, various skins on everything.
Okay, conversion chamber. How does that work? What?
So this is something that I believe is another Bob thing. It specifically came out when the center dropped. On the center, when you loot artifacts, there's also dusts in it, and you can use those dusts, or sorry, essence is they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And in here, I've got a couple essences. I wish I could. I don't. Can I unlock
That's
it?
okay.
Can you look inside? You might be able
Uh,
to look inside.
yeah, I can. Oh, I see.
All
Okay.
right. And you can convert those essences into tokens. So, for example, I can convert. There's one right there. I can convert it into an Argentavis Talon if I want. So, as you're out there kind of farming artifacts, you can also farm uh, these tokens that can then be turned into various trophies for going and doing bosses and
Uh,
stuff. So, it's kind of a nice perk. Um,
yes.
it wasn't used for any other map, so I don't know if it just was a dead end. I'm not sure, but it worked all right. But yeah, this is just a little workshop. Directly above us is my storage area. Um, there's really not much up to see there. It's vaults, and it's protected by a force shield, and it's annoying to turn it on and off. So I probably don't see there's a lot of visual interest in us going up there. Let's just say there's a bunch of crap stuffed in the vaults over our head.
What am I looking at here?
All right, this is a tech rep, and it's got the quantum furniture premium custom cosmetic skin on it. There's a
Okay.
little trick people can use, like right now the bubbles kind of popping out the front. You can actually spin the skin visually so the bubble doesn't pop out the front like that. But I kind of like it, so I left it.
Yeah. Cool.
Um, but yeah, it works really well. I just kind of like, once again, this is just an interesting shape. Adds a little. I will say this a lot. It makes me sound like a totally pretentious builder type, but I like to do things that have visual interest.
Yeah. Yep. I can agree with that.
And it just has a nice flow right back out front, and now we can just I'm gonna save the water for last. That way we can kind of take a trip out to the ocean. So I
And
use a lot of teleporters. Big I use all the way up to the large ones. I don't know why. On Island 2, way back before server transfers were possible, we used all the teleporters, and I just make room for them all. This is my shop floor, though. This is the various tames I breed to various levels. So all my current projects, some are mutated substantially, some are barely mutated at all.
so,
These are
okay. So on is this just like a billboard that you're putting your current stats on?
Yeah, pretty much. Some of them are more updated than others. I've just started mutating my gas bags. It is the skin here is only Christmas themed, but I like how they pop. I like
Mm-hmm.
the lighting on them, so I kept it even though they're all Christmas themed. I'm trying to get close enough. It's part of the neon skins again. Um, but
That's crazy.
yeah,
And then
and it's
this guy here, what am I looking at?
it's a gas bag. He's just not inflated. They're all on so they're all on the taxidermy stands, and I
Which,
can mess I
okay, you
can mess
can't
with
see
their
that.
pose.
Oh, wow.
I hid the bases, so I can hide and
Okay.
mess with, and it's hilarious the scaling, right? That the gas bag's about the right size, but look at my S Faso. Look at this guy. And
Looks like
hold on.
looks like an
I've got my
iguanodon.
Hold on, yeah, I got my Faso right here. Ready? And this guy, by the way, I finished my line here. I'm pretty happy with these guys.
Wow.
They've got 255 in their hit point, weight, and melee damage now.
Oh,
This,
jeez.
look at him compared to this guy. It's like, come on, what happened?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Scaled.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my.
it did not work. So, but I like it. It's just a little visual shop that people will be able to peruse and purchase things and see what they look like. And I
So
wish I had. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
that I don't know if you saw. I had done a base tour with Alcoholics Anonymous with I'm having a brain fart here. I can't think of the guy's name. But there's any case, and I was telling him like you see somebody else's base and then you realize how far you have to go. You know how much more you can do. That there's out there to do. And I thought and looking at this is I am so far behind being able to, it just I guess I'm trying to emphasize my fascination with what all you've done here. It's amazing.
I mean,
It's
I will say, in most people's defense, I'm 100% disabled veteran. I have time on my hands. More so than a lot of people do. My kid is old enough that they don't need me holding their hand all the time and
hmm
everything. So that this is where I channel my a lot of my outlets. Oh yeah, you like how the basilisks scale up too? They're smaller than the
yeah,
titanoboa.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna walk us outside to the community center. Here's the most undeveloped strip I have. I haven't quite figured out what I'm gonna do with this little bit of area yet. I'm possibly thinking just park, maybe a nice area when I start getting to the minute details. I'm very good at building big mega structures. If you notice, a lot of people do sitting areas and bedrooms and really good stuff with chairs and tables, and you haven't seen as much of that with me because that's not my strongest area. All right, we are about to see a cyberpunk gaudy nightmare, which is what this is designed as out here. This is my community center. We've got the floating Tesla turret. We've got the insane use of a sign custom cosmetic up here.
Oh, cool. What's the...
We've got,
what does that say?
we've got the salty squid up there. Food cup. Whatever this is, all up here in Chinese. This is the ultimate sign skin mod for some of this stuff.
And this is all available on normal arcade, or did you have to do something special for that?
These are all custom cosmetics. Both the neon sign, I think, and the ultimate sign skin and the neon skins are premium. So I spend a decent amount of money on custom skins. I do a lot of building, so I do prioritize buying skins and investing in it.
Okay, so if I understand what you're saying right, if you buy skins that don't normally come in, like when you load up an arcade server, you can use them. As long as
they are authorized for use on official, they will work here, and other people can see them. They don't have to purchase the skins. You just have to purchase them if you want to use them and apply them.
Okay, I'm going to take a second. I'm going to pull up my map. So if someone comes to this map, they can come here and use this area. Is that what? Since it's community center, is that correct?
Correct. And like, for example, the A+ transmitter can be used by anyone, even if they haven't done Dragon, right? It's accessible to anyone, unlike the vanilla one, which would block you from using it.
Okay.
And in a moment, we can go inside, and I'll show you. It's a fully functional crafting area inside.
So we're roughly at latitude 7, longitude 18.6. If anybody's curious to visit this. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying?
Yeah. And like I said, it is designed so that, especially at night, that it's very hard to miss this, right? It's designed so that people can find it easy. It is right below Mount Olympus, which is another good way for people to find it. It's hard to see the top of Mount Olympus because, well, we're in its shadow, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if we come on in, it is fully functional. We passed a rule now that the libraries can't have anything Mastercraft or Ascended in it. So my library is not as good as it used to be, but it does have... You can't look inside, but I can peek. It has some basic journeyman, ramshackle, but for a starting player, it's got some basic stuff in it. It's got an okay sword and some saddles and stuff.
So here's a sad fact for me to point out is that I've never used a community library. So if I was a player and I want to come use your community library, what would I do?
You would go to a craft station, and they are linked to it. And basically, you could come in here and say if you should be able to type in flak in here and see what it pulls up, which is pathetic. I have like one crappy flak recipe in there. That's it. And if you can't see it in there, you can see it.
I'm here and I'm hitting F, right, to try to access it. And I'm not getting...
Oh, wait, is it... Oh! I may not have unlocked it. It may have been locked.
Okay, so you were saying if I type flak?
Search for flak. Yeah, search for flak. It should pop up my one crappy purple recipe. That you could then craft. I'm gonna double check everything else, make sure I didn't accidentally lock anything else. And unfortunately, it got to the point like most of us just threw out these crappier recipes and we
Yeah.
kept the Mastercraft, and we kept the Ascended. So now I'm trying to pay attention to the bad ones, to
Hmm.
try what we used to think as bad ones, to repopulate this, so new players will have access to that. But right now, I've just got that one, that one. And then people have been leaving stuff and taking stuff in here. I haven't really regulated this. I obviously, let's see, there's a whole bunch of really, really terrible stuff in here.
Well, it's terrible maybe to you, but to someone that's new, they'll take anything they can get their hands on. You know?
Yeah, mostly I don't think they need the stone arrowheads and the trank arrows. But
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes, yes. But the free tames are long gone. I'm mostly using this now because we've wanted to crack down on handouts. I'm mostly using this for, like, say if you get a 224 quest one, that's just okay. I'll put that in there. But no like bodega stats. No no rare
Hmm.
dinos. I'm not putting that stuff in there. Just kind of various things. This used to be stocked with beer, but people kept raiding it for beer. But people have started leaving meat and battle tartare and soups and stuff in here, so it's being used by some people, which makes me feel good. So,
Yeah.
um, you
So
know,
smithy, fabricator, air conditioner. Okay. Cool.
and unfortunately, we got here after daylight came, because if you look south, is it actually east of us? If you look east of us, the big blue glowing trees inside in the cave. You see the trees out there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are all the big blue glowing trees. It's just daytime. And that is all the boglands, which are the most beautiful swamp I've ever seen. Instead of
Hmm.
being dark and nasty like the island swamp around the redwoods, right? Whereas
Yeah.
everything's very closed in. Down there it glows. And at night it's amazing. I mean, it's still filled with all the stuff that wants to kill you. A Caprasuchus is still going to carry you across half the map, while a Sarco is going to try to roll with you in the water, but it's very
Yeah.
lovely while they're trying to kill you.
Oh, that's good.
All right. So finally, let's take you to the very hidden gem of this cave.
Okay.
Let's go to a teleporter. There are no force shields that I'm accidentally going to take you to. Once again, everything goes to that hub I mentioned.
Okay.
So I literally just hit R because everything's quick connected, and it brings us back here. And we're gonna hop in the water. And the water is an unclaimed anglerfish named Glowfish Sticks, just for you.
Okay.
And you can go ahead and claim. And just beneath us is my good friend Shasta La Vista, who is always on wandering here because it's a weird flex.
Uh,
So if you look here, you can see I've got 5 columns. These five pillars, they hold everything up above. That's the redundancy. And these vacuum chambers down here are what support the superstructure above. These are my
that
actual foundations.
is crazy.
Down here, I made everything look sterile and medical because this is my cryo lab. So if we pop up our fish right here, when I stop lagging, maybe. There we go. And we pop on inside here. Yeah, this is supposed to be like the place, an alien abducts you and you do not want to be.
Uh, oh, whoa! Where'd you go?
Right down here.
Oh, that.
And
Okay.
th-
Cool.
this has even more skins for cryo fridges. This is an industrial skin, which I really like, this metal one, and then it has the quantum skin. And I have storage for everything. As you can see, I've got salmon and coels and trilobites and even like lampreys. And if you can tame it, I try to have something for it.
Uh, I have to admit, I've never tamed a trilobite or a piranha or a salmon.
Yeah, most of these fridges are empty. I just have the one for display, just in case I ever decide to do it. And this is also where I keep my gene storage. So I just call this my cryo lab. And it really is just a tremendous amount of storage. that goes around, and we don't have to see all of it because it's pretty redundant. Um, it just goes back to my obscene organizational uh,
Um,
efforts. I even have a bee. I mean, look at that. She's
mhm.
just living her best bee life over here. She's just doing her thing. I have not gotten an SB yet because I've been slacking, and I should have an SB right next to her, and that feels like something I should fix fairly soon.
So
But
you were saying about the gene storage. Uh,
correct.
that's just
Oh
something
yeah,
I'm starting to look into. So like
right over here.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said, yeah, right over here. Yeah, go ahead.
So say, for example, I'm breeding car chars. Um, when when you toss the eggs out, they hatch and they go into your oh, what's the device called? The thing that captures the eggs, and you can either look at them and destroy all if you want. In any case,
Yeah, the
you,
terminal, the SDS terminal.
yeah, it doesn't show you their gene or their special traits. Do you
Well,
have to throw them out to see them, or?
Well, if you've bred them and they've hatched, they're not going to have any traits on them. You're going to have to put them on them using a gene gun. You get you get the traits off the wild ones you tame and either the wild babies and things like that. Wyvern eggs you harvest in the wild, like wyvern eggs and rock
Okay.
drake eggs, those will have traits on the babies when they're hatched. Um, so you need to put them on them using your little gene gun here,
Okay.
and you store the genes in this gene storage, which you can only see what's in there when you actually have your gene gun out. And people store them in different ways. I store mine by categories. Like this is where I keep offensive genes. I keep defensive ones over here,
Now,
and then it
is it correct that
yeah.
like if you get a gene or a trait off of let's say a Giga, you can't take that and put it on another creature? Is that right, or am I wrong
Oh,
about that?
correct. It's exclusive. It's exclusive to it is exclusive to the type, though. Um, uh, they'll swap back and forth with the S ones. So you can take an S rock Drake and a regular rock Drake, and those will switch back and forth. And like Suki here is a Featherlight, and so those will swap back and forth. But yes, they're very specific to that. So if you get a Giga trait, it cannot go in a Karcha, and vice versa.
Hmm.
So
Okay, thank you.
the nice thing is it's something I mentioned for newer players too. It's actually a great way for newer players on Arcade to make some points. Is to go out and look for those valuable traits on even lower level tames that have like a 3. If you can find a 3 vampiric trait or a 3 giant slayer trait or king slaying trait and tame that, people will pay for that. That has value, and it's a really good way for people to jump into the arcade economy. Um,
Good
I
point.
I got a lot of my lines long before traits were introduced. I have not gone out and gotten a lot of these traits, and I don't necessarily want to. I'm fairly busy. I will pay for a good trait. I will use the points I have, and I will help somebody who's starting out and say, absolutely, I will buy that off you.
That is a good tip. That is.
All right. Yeah. And because starting out here later, people like me who've been around since 2023, I've got a lot of resources. I've got a lot of points.
Hmm.
It's just I'm the 1%, so to speak.
I
All right.
I guess I should start trying to sell things and get get into doing that type of thing. I don't know that I really have anything. I might have like base. I don't know, the ones I'm starting to breed, like my Rexes and that, or Gigas that have 50 plus stats. I don't know if people would want to buy that or not. I and
Possibly.
I
Yeah.
don't know what. I guess you don't know until you put it into the Discord. and see if people buy it.
Auction's great. So as we keep going down, I call this the cenote, right? Because it's very much like the Yucatan Peninsula. You've got this deep area going down. I feel guilty about using this much space to a degree, but where I put the gate is where it made sense. This area right here is actually, I do use it. Right here is, once again, where I neuter things. And so I don't put anything in here because I don't want to risk accidentally neutering anything. So when I put out a bunch of my megalodons to sell, it's all right here. And then I can just do the pulse, neuter them, and call it a day. And then we get down below here where I once again use the neon skin because, as we know, it gets very dark on this map, and I want to be able to see things. It also is where the most horrific and evil things I do happen. So I'm gonna park right here. As you can see, I got a couple mosas growing.
Yeah.
Over here, this is a giant death chamber. All of these megalodons in here, when they are adults, I'm going to suck the water out of all of these vacuum chambers, and they are going to die and fall to the ground.
Oh.
And I am going to harvest them on a baryonyx for all of that raw fish meat. Because I am trying to stockpile about 5 million raw fish meat, because I'm going to start trying to mutate Shastas, and they eat raw fish like Karchas eat raw meat.
Oh, jeez.
And I need so much raw fish meat. And I also do this for Tusos if I'm doing weekly quests. I will put 9 Tusos in here. I will drain all the water out. They will fall to the ground, and I will take a chainsaw to them. It is brutally efficient. It is also horrific. And the sound is just as terrifying as you would think it would be. As 80 sharks dying at once it's not great. It does not make me feel like a good person. Over here, once again, is just kind of this clinic. Oh, I forgot to mention what skin this is. The skin I'm using on these vacuum chambers is actually it's a reinforced concrete skin. There's a concrete skin that's a premium skin, and I painted it white. And I like the concrete skin because it just paints really well, and it lets me do this clinical, sterile medical sort of environment. It's kind of uncomfortable, and that's on purpose. It fits the vibe, and
it's
and
very
accidentally.
it's very you've just been abducted by aliens and wake up
It,
and
it is. It's exactly what I'm going for. So I'm glad it's working as intended, except for Whaley McRock head over here, which it popped through and I looked at it and like, oh, that's a bit like a whale with a bad tail. So that is
Yeah.
Whaley McRock head. This is
when I came in here, I saw that. I was like, oh, there's a well. Oh no, it's rock coming through. Okay.
yeah, so and sometimes I don't like it when things clip through, but sometimes you just have to embrace it. And in this case, it became Whaley McRock head.
Yep. That works.
And that pretty much most of it. The last thing to do is I thought we would take a nice little trip out to the ocean proper.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea of just this cave is just it's just wrong. This cave is wrong. All right, we're gonna go. If it wasn't for this gate, I could swim a Shasta out this passage. All right, let's do a little shift swimming.
Oh wow, this is big.
Oh my goodness, it's just ridiculous. And I got the okay to put a billboard at the end asking people not to block it. But honestly, somebody could definitely still build an aquatics outpost in here, and they would not block it. Like somebody could just put some vacuum chambers across the floor in here, and there would be no issues at all. Because it's just crazy. It's just massive. Oh, somebody's got a little thing right there. Look at that. Little water base. Hi, little water platform. And I'm up at the surface, and you can actually kind of see Mount Olympus a little better out here too. And the swamp, the boglands. And that mountain is an extremely high point. The clouds are kind of blocking it, but... And, oh, look, there's a shark. Hi, Sharky. Aw, you want to be my friend? Aw, poor Sharky.
Yeah.
Um,
I am looking forward to someday exploring this map. I've been kind of saving that for when I have time I can dedicate just to doing that. But it looks like a beautiful map for sure.
It really is, and it's worth taking a look. The best way to get around on it is honestly a Maywing or a Maguana.
Hmm.
They've just got the speed because it's so big. There is a public teleporter called Jump Point Icarus. It's actually mine. It's actually where I died and lost everything because if you fly too high on
Mm.
Astraeos as it's fitting, you get nuked and everything on you is destroyed and there's no recovering it. There's no bringing it back. It is permanently gone. If you fly too high, there's no warning like on Extinction. There's no countdown. It is
Hmm.
just poof, you are dead, which is why it's called Jump Point Icarus. It's at 50-50 on the map, so you can kind of glide to everywhere, and it
Okay.
gives you a great view. So, and there's an awesome TP, so it's a great place to start from.
So I'm trying to
Um,
place where we were when we were at the community center. Is it? Which way
it
am I?
is right up. Let's see. It is not. It should be probably. You see where the blue beacon is?
Yeah.
It's probably down and to the left of it just a little bit.
Okay.
I think, or is it down to the right? I don't know. It's down below that blue beacon, either to the left or the right. It's right over there
Wow.
somewhere.
So that's how much area we've covered.
It it is that cave is just. I was about to give up so I waited for the first day that this new area opened on the map. I decreased. I never built a big base. I kept it to outpost size. And I waited when this dropped, and I knew I wanted to find my permanent base here. And I was looking for something pretty, and I was just about to give up and kind of settle for this little area over here. And you think it would be easy to find that cave, but it just has those two entrances. And I would accidentally lagged and I glided into it on my Maywing, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "There's no way you can build in here." And I'm like, "Oh, awesome! I can build in here." So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll build in a cave for once. I'm kind of vain. I like people to see my builds, so I normally don't cave build. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And
Hmm.
so I claim it, and then I'm like, oh, I wonder what the water is like. Can I breathe in here? And I'm like, oh, this is deep. Oh no, this is really deep. Oh my God, this goes to the ocean. So yeah, no, it's really impressive. And then I had bases everywhere, and so I ended up selling some, which I had planned to do anyways, and I just consolidated.
Are we
It's
allowed
a
to do
real
that?
yes, you can build and sell bases. It's complex. There's a lot of rules around it. If you have like crafting stuff in it, they have to do a one-for-one exchange. You can't build a fully furnished base as far as crafting stuff goes. It can have lamps, it can have air conditioners, it can have those sorts of things,
Hmm.
but it can't have replicators and anything like that. It can't have a deady floor unless they give you a deady for every deady in the floor and things like that.
Okay.
Um, and it has to be done with an admin because of how tribes work on Arcade.
Hmm.
Um, and so they have to come and claim, and you have to use a support ticket. So there's a bit of work involved in doing it. So, as a matter of fact, I'm doing a build right here in an underwater cave for somebody right now. We've just started. They're basically in the process of picking what skins they want. And when I'm done with that, it's going to cost them probably around 30K to 40K points by Arcade's point system, which is not super cheap.
No.
But mostly I've got to be selective. I'd be overwhelmed if it was cheaper. I've sold some stuff at auction that went too cheap, and I don't know, it didn't feel great. So just trying to value your own time. I'm not a greedy person, but at the same time, it's a lot of work hours on some of these things. Like that base in there, I'm easily at 120 hours of labor at least
Oh,
into
I
that.
bet. I would imagine at least.
Yeah, probably more. So, but yeah, also, that anglerfish you're on, if you want it, that is yours.
Oh, well, we're not allowed to give things away like that, are we? Or
You are. Yeah. So there are limits on giving things away to new players that we want to restrict, right? But
hmm
you are allowed to do a gift. Um,
Thank you.
per arcade rules, that is acceptable. There are limits on mass giving, and like I should not be giving away a bunch of super cartridges to new players, right?
Right.
And I should not be, say, sticking out a public fridge filled with a bunch of max level dinos that any new person can give. But yes, I
hmm
can give away a non-mutated anglerfish, and it's okay.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah,
You're
I try to be very cautious and that kind of stuff and stay within the rules and uh,
correct. Absolutely. And that's the nice thing too. I'm very much, as I've gotten older, to use D&D parlance, I'm very much a lawful good sort of person myself. So,
yeah, I hear you.
yeah.
Yeah, too.
But
Yeah, paladins. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. But
yeah.
yeah, all right.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna I'm gonna awesome TP back inside. I don't know where you want to go. You can pop back in with me if you would like.
Well, I've taken up a lot of you. Something just swam by me. What was that?
It's an ichthy. We're safe. Nothing wants to
Okay.
eat us.
And I think I'm going to get going here. It's getting late for me. I'm Eastern Standard Time and do have work in the morning. So, but I appreciate. So, I guess there's that red drop over there. Maybe I'll fly over that and use that to get
Head on
home.
home.
Yep.
If not, my transmitter is always unlocked. The one in
Oh,
the middle there, so
uh,
you can always use that.
so for people coming here, on your community center, is there how would I get to that using the awesome teleporter? What's the code for that one?
All right. Honestly, you should just be able to use ND Community Center, but if you just search for Community Center, it'll show up.
Okay. Yeah, maybe
And
I'll.
it is locked. And now I am. Why is it locked? Now it's unlocked. I'm glad I double checked. It is unlocked now. So
Okay.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't know why it was locked. That is fixed. I'm glad I double checked that because that was no bueno.
Actually, I did bring a wyvern over me. With me. I'm just gonna fly over, check out red dropout, and then I'll head back home. Oh, someone else has a little base over here.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. There's actually a really Tabukin has a really lovely designed base down there as well. So thank you so much for this opportunity. It
Oh.
was nice to do a little tour. I'm vain enough to enjoy doing this, so thank you.
No, thank you. It's incredible what you have here. I very much appreciate you taking your time and let me take a look at that. And I'd like to thank you, the viewer. This is a longer video than I'm used to making, and if you've hung in there this long, I really appreciate it. If you would, please click the like and subscribe buttons below. If you play on Arkade and you'd like to be the subject of a base tour, I would be more than happy. Just leave me a comment below or shoot me a message in Discord. I am interested in seeing all different types. It doesn't have to be a gigantic base. If you feel you got something unique and have maybe a unique way of doing a base layout or a design, I'm interested, and I'm sure others are also. So, yeah, leave a comment below. Thanks. Bye. Thank you so much, and thank you for your time. I appreciate you're giving me the tour, and I'm sure this is going to inspire many people out there. Seeing stuff like this inspires me, and You've done some incredible work here.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one.
Hey, you too.
Bye.
Bye.